one factory. When Bawumia was busy collapsing the economy in Zimbabwe, you remember when they took him to Zimbabwe and Mugabe heard that this man was eloquent and took him? They were doing inflation of 1,000 and something percent. In fact, when we were learning economy, anytime they mentioned galloping inflation, Bawumia's economy in Zimbabwe was the example. You needed to bring sacks to carry the Zimbabwean currency, wheelbarrows, to exchange $1 for Zimbabwean currency. Bawumia, you were in Zimbabwe. At the time you were in Zimbabwe, Kasapreko was here producing snaps for us. You came and painted it and said it's one district, one factory. And you are here talking vision. Where is the factories you promised us? Can you show us one factory government has created other than painting and repainting and granting tax exemptions? You remember the man got up one day, he was feeling good and said he was going to do economic management stakeholder engagement. You remember? And he went there and out of nowhere, boom, I have given benchmark discount. You didn't hear it. 30% on vehicles, 50% on goods. Alright? And what was his reason? It will drive cargo traffic to our port, and our port will be busy. And he was saying that Togo was doing over 300 metric tons, and he will take that traffic from Togo to Ghana. Now go to the port. Your camera, if you are lucky to catch a bird with your camera, you are very, very lucky. But you see, this is an economist too. When a Burkinabe, a Malian, a Nigerian import his goods through Togo or Ghana, destined for his country, do you know he doesn't pay import duty? Do you know he doesn't pay import duty? Because the goods are not destined for the Ghanaian economy. When he gets to Burkina, Mali, or Niger, what will he do? He will pay the duty there. So, how can you be reducing your duty and thinking that the Burkinabe will leave Togo port and bring the goods to Ghana port because you have reduced import duty that he's not already paying? Are you seeing my picture? The reason they will come to Ghana or Togo is the port charges. I say is what? Port charges. And you are still charging port. And you are asking the Burkinabe to bring his cargo to Ghana when there's a free port in Togo collecting no port charges. And you were hailing this incompetence and ignorance. How on earth did we fall so low for this level of mediocrity? That we actually believed that importers from Togo, Mali, and Niger will abandon the free port in Togo and bring their goods to Ghana and pay port charges because Bawumia has reduced import duty. Do you understand what I'm telling you? When you go, ask him, where did he learn this from? The head of the economic management team doesn't know what affects trade facilitation. And he says he has a vision. This ignorance. When he said he was going to clean out the banking sector, we didn't know that he was going to collapse them. He collapsed 422 financial institutions under our noses in less than 2 years. You still have a vision. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is the first economist in Ghana with the most venomous vision that has landed us all where we are today on life support. He now wants to be president with a vision to disconnect the life support so that we will now die completely. If Dr. Bawumia had any iota of credibility, a modicum of shame in his eyes, and respect for the people of Ghana, he would have stayed away from contemplating to be president of the republic. In a country where there are values, this man would have taken the fall for the IMF program. But you know, he's so shameless. He can actually go here and buy tomato and onion to go and cook in the house. When Samira sends him to go and buy those things, he will come, and then he became so fanciful, he will pick a calculator, he's calculating inflation. Some of the goods that we survey to calculate inflation don't even exist in Malata market. You were not here, and you were clapping for him. You people, you create devils out of humans. And then when they come to devour us, you will now be calling us to tell the man said it. The man said, well, haven't you experienced it yourself? And he says that he has vision. After achieving the unenviable record of leading Ghana to the IMF again, breaking all negative records of economic management, and running away from his trained specialization of economics to digitalization, what has he got to offer? Ladies and gentlemen, Bawumia attended secondary school. Those days, it's not your SS that you go for 3 years, by 21 you are finished. No. We used to come out grandfathers. 5 years, O level. This man was mowing economics with our tears, zometric ideas. 5 years. Went to A level, was able to economics. He chewed it for 2 years. Is it not 7 years? He went and did first degree in economics, 3 years. Did a master's, let's say 2 years. This is not 5 years. Went and did PhD, minimum 3 years. He became a lecturer of economics and actually practiced economics, including practicing it with that Zimbabwe man who died. What is it? The former president of Zimbabwe. Robert Mugabe can testify to the man practicing economics. This man has spent 35 years of his life struggling with the economics that he was trained. He led us here. Recently, when he was trying to run away, he clicked something called Yahoo. And then they mentioned something like digitalization. This is your Yahoo you spend 3 minutes to Google. That's the one you say we should vote for you to come and implement. Huh? And he said this. You know why he's calling digitalization? We'll call them systems improvement. What he went to do at the school feeding, we'll call it ERP, enterprise resource planning. Every accountant who left school, even 20 years ago, me, I worked with enterprise resource planning because you can't do without it as an accountant. So an agency says, oh, let's improve our system, let's computerize, let's go and buy accounting software. Then this man will come and stand there. We are digitalizing everything. If you feed you with beans, we will know. If they feed you with gari, we will know. So that enterprise resource planning, you know, it also has a model for payment. Do you know that? Why is it not pressing the model for payment and paying the fees? He is owing the people who supply the gari and beans that he's complaining about over 360 million. He should go and press the payment button. Their bank details, everything is stored there. You can just transfer to their bank account straight. Bawumia, you didn't see that one. The payment model. All you saw is when we feed you with beans, we will know. Talkative. Ladies and gentlemen, we now need to let Bawumia understand something. I believe that when he pressed the Google button, they didn't tell him when digitalization started in Ghana. Those of you, I'm sure when you are watching old movies, you see that somebody is making a call, then they'll do the grrr. You remember that one? Grrr. You remember that one? That was what Bawumia saw before he left the shores of Ghana to go and stadium. By the time he came back, he was now using the mobile phone. It's not magic. It's not magic. You remember that in this country we used to have Ministry of Communication and Transport. One of my big brothers, late Edward Salia, may his soul rest in peace, is a pioneer of that ministry. Under Jerry John Rawlings, we decided to transform the telecom ecosystem and to create the environment for innovation and true digitalization. So Honorable Spio Gabriel was appointed the Minister for Communication. We split the ministry into two so that we can focus. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was his deputy minister. Then we decided to liberalize the airwaves. All of you would have been unemployed because you all have to go to GBC and there is no space for all of you. We used to have only GBC. So when you enter a house, you see a casanoma hanging somewhere on the wall. They will gather. Sometimes we need to tell you the history for you to understand people for who they are. We liberalize the airwaves. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama took over from Spio Gabra when he was moved to education as a Minister of Education, and JM became the Communications Minister. That is when we introduced mobile telephony. In other words, John Mahama brought what? Mobile telephony. And the advert at that time was one of our biggest stars in football. Tony Yeboah. You remember Tony Yeboah? Tony Yeboah would take the phone and say, hey, offer me now one thing and make us know. Because we were only using fixed phones. So if you have somebody calls you, you tell, oh, I want to call you at 5. 5, you must be standing there and waiting. If you miss the call and he gets angry and walks away the call, you won't get it. So it was now a novelty for somebody to be outside his house and not by a fixed phone and talking. Bawumia was busy chewing economics at that time. Outside the shores of Ghana. So he didn't see all this happening. Mijina Bontin and Mekasa was a selling point for mobile phones. And we embarked on a very aggressive expansion of the telecom ecosystem. At that time, our own Vodafone was Ghana Telecom and they were misbehaving. You go and buy Ghana Telecom chip as if you are buying Mujadro. And they were sitting there, MTN. We started with Scancom Space Phone. First phone to Ariba, and we in the Zongos were saying, now they get, you know, Riba means profit. They say, the people say now they get Ariba. The Ariba left and gave it to, I think, MTN. Yes. At that time, we had Westel set up by the NDC. Westel is now the phone network you call Airtel Tigo. Westel was sold to Zay. Zay sold to Airtel, and Airtel and Tigo merged. All that time, my guy was doing Lambda TS. Then we decided to launch into improving data and internet service. So under the same John Dramani Mahama as a president and a vice president, we laid fiber optics right from here to the Yendi area, cross over through the eastern corridor to Boko. So you can get data anywhere you are. In Accra here, you would have seen at some point roads were being dark and you were angry. We were laying fiber for you to be able to have data and to innovate as somebody who wants to work with digitalization. We increase our network capacity from 2G to 4G to give you better service and better capacity. If I hadn't left far, we would have been having 5G by now. We built the Accra Digital Center to import jobs for Ghanaian youth sitting right here in Accra and working for companies in UK, in the US, in Germany, and across the world. And we developed the infrastructure to make that possible because we have the bandwidth here. I beg you, take your cameras to go and take the digital center and send it to Bawumia. We built the biggest capacity data center to ensure that the Ghana.gov project, which was to computerize government service, had a place for data safety and for data storage. Without these infrastructure, you can only dream about digitalization, Bawumia. And then you just appear. Now economy has shaped you, you move to Yahoo, you say you are doing digitalization. He should come and he should tell us his track record in building infrastructure for digitalization. One, I want you people to tell him that the days when we didn't know him and we gave him the benefit of the doubt is long gone. He has a record. And any time he is ready, wake me up from sleep. He can choose his own venue. He can choose his own moderator. In fact, he can come with his books for reference. But just wake me up from sleep and say, Bawumia say he wants to debate his vision and his knowledge about the economy and digitalization, and I'll meet him. We will respond to him for every unguided and lying statements he would make. If MPP decide to choose him as flag bearer, that's their problem. But he must be factual. He must not take the people of Ghana for granted. And now for Keno Foriata, he should know that now Adongo is in this chair. Any update will respond. If after destroying our lives and embarrassing us, he doesn't feel shy to still talk, we'll meet him squarely. Today, I'll tell you what will happen at the next review. Do you know that investors are up in arms against the government of Ghana and the IMF? Because some of the assumptions that the IMF used to do our numbers are unacceptable. The IMF is projecting that the Ghana cedi will end the year at 13.1 cedi to the dollar. Investors disagree. So why did you come as an IMF? Because we know when you come, the cedi comes down, right? The reason is that by pegging the dollar at 13.1, the foreign components of our debt goes up, our debt to GDP becomes worse, and investors must take a deep cut in order to save us. Investors, you can't play this game on us. By pegging the dollar to the cedi at 13.1, your debt service is driven by your foreign component of debt service automatically goes so high that you will see that your debt service to your revenue and any other indicators are so worse. So when you cut, they say, no, you can see their numbers are so terrible. If you don't cut very deep, it won't help them. So investors are seeing a bait for them to lose money. Then they come and give a very pessimistic evaluation of Ghana's export going forward, so that all the other debt sustainability variables that are dependent on export cover will look worse. And the aim is that we would have achieved debt restructuring. Investors would have signed off and given us the deep cuts. Then September, October, when we come here, we saw, oh, the economy is, you saw the language they spoke the last few days. Hey, the reserve has increased. The reserve has not increased. It's your $600 billion that is lying there. It is your own money you transferred from Washington that you came to see. It hasn't increased. So the cedi is beginning to get stability. See the language? Then they will come and say, oh, by our estimation, the cedi will now end the year at 9 cedis to the dollar. Immediately every three will drop. Debt to GDP improved. Debt service to tax revenue improved. Then you say, oh, we have seen that the global economy is picking up and China is becoming an engine of growth, driver of the global economy, and our exports are going to go up. So our export revenue goes up. Then all other indicators built on export cover improve. Then they'll write a long essay telling you that the economy has improved. Meanwhile, it's artificial adjustment of assumptions. These people that you have put there, you don't know them. Not even IMF can handle them all. You see the way the game they have played with them. Market, they will come and revise all the assumptions in September, October. And they will tell you that the economy has improved. Nothing has improved. It is assumptions that have improved. Those assumptions they knew already. Ladies and gentlemen, open your eyes. Open your eyes. We are fired up for these people. I think we've spoken enough. Thank you very much.